Manal Alam, Middle East IT Head and Business Partner of Merck Group, Arif Khan, CEO of CoreEdge.io, and Mohammed Nufel, Cluster IT Manager of Royal Continental Hotels and Suites. And their topic today is the Future Data Center Blueprint, Unmasking the Challenges. Thank you so much. I'll pass it over to you, Dr. May.
Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. My name is Barachi. I'm really delighted to be with you here today. And basically, we're going to be talking about the future of data centers, some insights and ideas about that. So as we know, the pandemic had a great impact on data center, and it caused a huge increase in demand, spike in server compute, storage, network resources, and of course, the data center managers had to still maintain the uptime and the availability for our services to run. Now, this trend hasn't slowed down at all. It's going to continue and increase. And the reason for that is that we can see that a lot of countries around the world are still adopting work from home schemes, as well as hybrid work schemes and distributed teams, right? Geographically distributed virtual teams. So this creates a lot of demands on data center and applications, but also the pandemic has accelerated digital transformation initiatives by everyone. So all organizations started digitizing their systems and processes to make them also more efficient and streamlined. Today we have an exciting panel with you guys, with some professionals sharing their insight about the future of data centers in the region and worldwide, as well as some opportunities and challenges that we might still be facing. So I want to start by introducing Manal Alam. She is a Middle East IT Head and Business Partner at Merck. Merck doesn't need introduction, but it is a global healthcare company, of course, that produces innovative healthcare solutions through vaccines and medicines and therapeutic products. Manal, I want to ask you, with the requirements of the pandemic, to provide global scale vaccines and medicines and healthcare solutions, how did the pharmaceutical industry cope with this drastic increase in demand, and what were the challenges faced and lessons learned?
Thank you. Before the pandemic, the healthcare industry or the medical care industry benefited a lot from the cloud computing. And usually people think about the front-end things that we all see, like Internet of Things, like the blockchain, like the artificial intelligence, but usually we forget about the backbone at the end, which is none of this could have been enabled without really having the cloud infrastructure to support this. So let me just give you a few examples. To start with, advancing the medical science itself through sharing clinical trials and medical studies, and also let's say projecting or sharing particular surgeries, broadcasting them for teaching purposes. So that's one area. And the other area is there is a concept that's called patient engagement, meaning that the patient is not just sitting like this receiving treatment, but the patient is part of the solution to the problem, meaning that the patient can own the data from, let's say, the hospital application or even the governmental patient records. So this will help really the patient to reach a conclusion to the medical problem. And then there is a big improvement really and big benefits in how to improve the service that is provided for the patient. So let's take for an example a hospital. If the hospital system is integrated with insurance, integrated with lab facilities and other testing centers as well, then here there will be 360 view of the patient, and definitely this will enable the hospital to manage the resources better, manage the doctor's time in a better way, and to even improve the patient medical journey. Before the pandemic, there was existing, not science fiction, but existing artificial intelligence services that predicted the pandemic. And that was done out of social media. By monitoring social media, this prediction was there, but unfortunately the world leaders didn't work on it, and boom, we have the pandemic exploded. The healthcare industry, I can give you 2 examples of how it shifted or transformed after the pandemic. Definitely, like you said, many things have been accelerated. So patients now, they are becoming more engaged by looking at information in websites, having mobile applications to remind them of their medication or the time they need to do the test. Wearables and medical devices as well. We're seeing massive adoption in these things. There are also new concepts like telehealth, where we can virtually do the doctor appointment. And definitely I can really forecast that in the future this is going to improve and even become more and more adopted, because now we do have the metaverse. So all of those things really represent many opportunities. And of course, not to mention, during the pandemic, there was the contact tracing and the real-time monitoring, and none of this could have been a reality without cloud computing.
Thank you very much. I'll follow up a little bit. I'm curious to know about something. So, vaccines, right? Production typically take years, 10 to 15 years. And we saw during COVID that it got really accelerated in a few months. Can you tell us a little bit about how these resources, just from a pharma point of view, might be interesting to know?
So the research behind the bacteria and the viruses, it's a very old thing, because the corona is not the first pandemic that we face as a humanity. So usually what happens is that is the vaccine developed? It's based on understanding the behavior of the virus or the bacteria itself. What happens really, why do we have new pandemic? It's because there is this virus or bacteria starts exhibiting new behavior. So here there is a particular change in the DNA of that bacteria or virus. So here we already have data about these viruses. They usually come into families. So we already have previous data about that. And here, using artificial intelligence and using also the contact tracing and the real-time tracking that we saw during the pandemic, we are able to really come to conclusion regarding how this virus behaves and how we can tackle this behavior. It's not an easy thing, really, but the coronavirus that we saw, the COVID-19, that was not the first coronavirus, really. There was SARS before it, and there were a couple of variations also that occurred in the world. So this was a base, really, of wealth of information that helps us to understand the new variant and try to predict how it will work.
Exciting. Thank you very much. So moving on from the traditional data center and on-prem, infrastructures to the world of cloud, we heard many people. So of course, cloud is now mainstream. It's widely adopted in the industry, especially from reduction of cost and efforts point of view. And also we see to move towards hybrid clouds and multi-cloud solutions, where a number of providers are coming together and collaborating to offer these infrastructures. I want to pass the mic to Arif Khan, CEO of Code Edge. Core Edge, sorry, he's with us today. And I want to ask about the solutions that you're building, the cloud and edge solutions that you're building to address the orchestration and management concerns or requirements of modern applications. If you can tell us a bit about that.
Sure. Hello guys. So from morning we have been listening many sessions where a lot of data center expertise which we have heard about the real estate, the chiller and cooling. I'm bringing a little slight different perspective because I'm coming more from the tech side of it, what's happening. And just to give you a background, I have been building telco cloud all my life with Ericsson 10 years. And then I started this company at the peak of COVID. And people were saying, what are you doing, man? But COVID was bad, but of course, the need it put, the requirement it put on the network and infrastructure, it was among us. And guys, this is just a trailer. The whole industry 4.0, the 5G use cases which is coming, that's data tsunami is going to come. And that's where early 2020, I started seeing a lot of opportunities. And this whole, some of the analysts actually said that for the edge infrastructure by 2030, it is 4.3 trillion kind of an opportunity we are talking about. And given that my background, I have worked with cloud, this was my logical progression to explore on the edge. So, of course, we are looking right now multi-cloud because no one really want to put their all eggs in one basket, right? So, multi-cloud is a reality right now. But running it in production, running it with the sovereignty generally people misconfuse that if I'll just compute my data in my country is the sovereignty, but that's not the reality. Sovereignty is freedom, and freedom that today if you're working with one vendor, you should be allowed to work with any other vendors, and that's not the reality today because all these hyperscalers guide you that use this kind of image, use this way, the policy should run out. And that's where I'm trying that there should be a standardization. These are the infrastructure company, we should only use for infrastructure. They should not tell me how to use it, and that's where we are building products. So we have one product which is doing this whole multi-cloud and multi-hybrid kind of environment. I'm not going to talk about product because yeah, you can always explore. And this 5G, because I'll tell you, right now I think we all are in a very lucky, the kind of technology transformation which is happening right now. It's huge. Like technology used to transform in 10 to 15 years, and now we are seeing every 3 years the whole VM world is now we are talking about cloud native, right? So it's very fast, and some of the future use cases, some people say 5G use cases or industry 4.0, you can name it anyway, but augmented reality. And I'll take you very simple example so that you can understand. Right now, if you go to, let's say, an IKEA shop, they will give you a very huge glasses, or not even glasses, it's a device which you wear on your eyes, and then you can visualize this particular sofa set, how it will look in my bedroom, right? But in that particular device itself, your storage, compute, network, everything is there. And that's the limitation right now, because my cloud computing infrastructure cannot give that kind of an experience, right? If I'm wearing a Google glasses or any other smart glasses, if I'm able to compute all the computation somewhere near to me, then I will get the same experience. But that's the reason we don't have edge, and that's why these heavy, expensive devices are coming in. And that's a hindrance for Industry 4.0, because somehow we need to lower down the power cost, the energy cost, the compute cost. So these are just to collect, more like a sensor. The whole computation should happen somewhere near to the user, near to the application. And that's where we see already people are early on POCs where driverless car is reality. POCs are happening. And just to give you an example, like if you have to make driverless car in a reality, you need to build edge data center every 10 kilometers. That kind of latency which we are already seeing in. So these are the different particular use cases which we are already seeing, and we are helping like Government of India, even and many others, to have that sovereignty as a freedom, not just that something work very closely only in their data center. So that's the mission we are in. Let's see, because the winner for edge is not yet decided. Not even hyperscaler, not even telecom, and not even cloud service provider. This is going to be a very interesting journey for next 3 to 5 years, and let's see who wins.
So yeah, before you pass to him, again, as a quick follow-up. So really, cloud computing is about democratizing computer power, right? Computing power and making it accessible at a very large scale. But there are still a lot of challenges to be addressed as the cloud environment evolves, like managing the complexity of these hybrid cloud and multi-cloud environment, or controlling cloud spend, or even accessing skilled people, having skilled resources to work with these solutions. Can you comment a little bit on that and how you're addressing at least some of them?
Sure. Actually, before start of this event, I promised that I will not do any sales pitch on the stage, but you are provoking me to do it. That's exactly the same problem, because these cloud native technology is not very old. 3 to 5 years, even Google has invented it, and now people are picking it. It's very hard to get resources. Whole telco, all big enterprises are struggling it. And that's where I see as a technology person that's the area I should solve, and that whole abstraction is what we are focusing and solving. And so I can give you one example. One of our customer, Rakuten, they are managing more than 2,000 edge sites across Japan with a couple of people using our product. In reality, if someone has to do manually, you can imagine, just even if it's a Kubernetes and you have to upgrade it, but upgrading it 2,000 site manually, it's a nightmare. So that's where actually, and that's a huge hairy industry problem, and a lot of companies in Silicon Valley, many other places are coming in, and I think we should focus on. And another perspective which we are bringing in, because people talked about this chiller intelligence and how we can reduce the, and especially in Dubai where a lot of energy is required for cooling and other things. But we are working something called intent-based orchestration, which is actually you just don't need to know the exact, you don't need to know the nitty-gritty of infrastructure. You define your intent, and intent can be a geographical location. Intent can be, this is the workload profiling that in the night I don't really, so automatically it optimizes the users on the server, and it can even, if you want to take it to the next level, maybe in the offload time you can switch off those servers, and so from the tech and cloud side, those energy friendly orchestration we are also focusing on.
Excellent, thank you very much. Now moving on to the hospitality sector, we have with us Muhammad Naufal, who is a cluster IT manager at Royal Continental Hotels and Suites. Welcome to the panel. So with the scale of operations that you guys have in your chain of hotels, what are the key computing and IT infrastructure requirements that the hospitality sector is typically, needing, and how did you cope with the increase in demand in the past period?
Hi everyone. First of all, thank you W.Media. I want to say an immense pleasure to get a chance to meet with the leaders in the market. And most of the faces are familiar. We met in many events earlier in Dubai. Regarding the pandemic time or the lockdown time, and I'm sure that especially the hospitals and hospitality industry is directly involved or affected with the lockdown and pandemic. I'm sure that other entities and other business cases also the same scenario, but we are really pushed into to get equipped with or stand up with the systems and solutions immediately within a short time interval. And I'm sure that there is a big gap in the supply chain issues, and the technical resources issues and the availability of the solutions. This was all the major, impact on that time. And moreover, I can say rather than all of these issues, what we face, especially, there is a big resistance to change from our colleagues' side, because people are panicked and they don't know. They are first of all care about their job, what is the future, what is the business. Most of the hotels actually I'm sorry, it's audible, right? Yeah, the people, they lock down their business, they put off the shutter. But as a people who is giving providing the home or the services, we are not able to do anything. We cannot close our entities or the business. So the problem is that we have to push all our solutions or support team to equip with especially the word. I'm sure that everyone still remember contactless. This is the word which is which was a nightmare in that time. And I can say that still we remember. We are not able to move out of our offices, our home, to go to offices. Here I'm saluting the governing bodies and the authorities. They are giving some special approvals. You can keep your the application on your dashboard while you are driving through the door. And sometimes I still remember the cameras are flashing on the road while we are moving on the road while the lockdown. So we overcome all these issues actually. All that negative aspect, I can say that we achieve a growth of a 20 to 25 years of gap supposed to happen in that a big gap. We achieved all those technical aspects within 1.5 years, I can say. I am sure that everyone have the same feeling, because I am sure that before the pandemic hit, we don't have any property solution which is working in even the virtual machine. I can say that we have Oracle cloud system now, but the same they are the global leaders. I'm not saying any companies or anyone especially, but most of them are not ready to work in a hybrid platform or cloud systems. So now, I can say, after all those struggles and issues, after this 1.5 years, I attended the GITEX in a couple of days back. You saw that the crowd, from the day 1 to day 5, I attended all of the day. I didn't finish all the outlet, see the demo and all, because that much crowded. And the systems, here and there, you have lots of options. Now, I can say after this 1.5 years, my colleagues, they are wishing to select either they can work from home or they can work from their office, really. The management has no any issues. Either they are coming on time in office or they are going out, because the productivity is the matter. They can do when they are even traveling in the car, when they are driving the car. Now my front office manager or our revenue manager, he is handling the rates and availability of the hotel, all our properties. He can just do from his mobile. And he can see at any time the hotel real status, how many rooms occupied, how many people are ready to go to check-in. This all process he can just see in his mobile. And when I'm saying about the contactless system, what happened, I can say within first 6 months of the pandemic, we pushed, as I said, we are compelled to stand up. So the people who is doing the reservation in online, they don't want to interact with any human, agent or anyone in my reservation system. Before I have 12 people in my entire reservation body, now it is handling by only 3 guys in the office. So the chatbot is there. In the website, people can go. They can do the enquiries, they can do the reservations, they can do the pre-request they have before they are checking in the hotel. Everything is handling by the chatbot. Even the checkout. Even they can check their bills. They can do the feedback while they are in the hotel. They are requesting for the guest services. If there is a delay, immediately they are putting the feedback in system. It's going in the automated manner to the management level. So everything changed. Once they are checking in the body, in the lobby, they can get the key in the mobile. They can go to the lift. Show the device only in the reader. No need to even press the button for the flow. They can use their mobile to control the lights in room, the AC in the room, all the services in the room, their own device dock with the entertainment system, everything's done. So what I can say simply in short, I'm sorry to take a long time, because this is an enthralling experience actually. Throughout these 18 years of my experience in automation and all, this 1.5 year, what we achieve, this is supposed to be achieved in long 20-25 years. This was my experience, especially in hospitality industry. Okay, so thank you.
Thank you very much. That was very interesting. So, building on that and talking about Industry 4.0, we heard people talk about that, which is basically the next era in computing, where the line between the physical and digital worlds will be blurred, right? And also the concept of digital transformation, where businesses have to reimagine themselves in the digital era, and they have to redesign their business processes or create new ones to meet the needs of the consumers and make the experience of users fantastic, frictionless, seamless, amazing, right? So how prepared are our data centers for this era? And basically, just to touch upon the future outlook of data centers, what do you think would be the future outlook of data centers and where we're heading? Any of you can answer.
Okay. Yeah, from the data center point of view, because generally as a data center company, they only focused on colo business, and that's what they are focusing. But now with opportunities with respect to Industry 4.0, even someone coined this word called hyper-local, because a lot of countries are coming with such sovereignty concern kind of a law also, where they want to keep their data in their control. So these data center companies is sitting on a really huge opportunity, at least in their local and regional place where they are located. So I think till now they have been mostly focusing selling colo and spaces, but now seeing these new opportunities, I think I have already seen that these data center players are already investing in technology. Some of them are acquiring companies in this space as well. So that should continue, but yeah, it will take some time, and I'm sure these use cases also, what we are talking about, will evolve with let's say next 1-2 year or 2 to 3 years. So that's how right now.
Actually, my perspective regarding this point, recently I got a chance actually to visit that Moro Hub. It's one of the iconic project in UAE, in Jebel Ali too. There is restricted access even though. See, what I feel that, I met a couple of, vendors also in our exhibition area. This concept, it's very soon going to be changed actually. Still, when we are, putting my systems, my software as a service or network as a service, if I'm putting in cloud platform, anything, in data centers basically, I have a feeling that my all data is in somewhere else's hand. Still, I'm not in full control. Recently, my entity is a local group from the royal family in Abu Dhabi. We have, entities in royal, the real estate. Okay. So we recently got some guidelines, some instructions from the authorities. The legislative framework. They have a plan to build the localized, if it is possible, your own data center. Okay. So all my hotels, now we have 5 properties and as I said, some other entities. We are now in the track of building our own data center in business way. We are changing our area to, I'm not saying a fully equipped, a big one, but even though I would like to call that one very soon my small data center. So what is happening, as he said, there is a lot of legislative framework guidelines, which is going to be happen very soon, because the data the authorities are, keen interest not to pass to the national boundaries. It's a sake of lot of other concerns, especially the real estate and banking informations and all. So my feeling is that very soon, even the mid-level or high-level entities, they will have their own small even data centers for them. And another point I can add that regarding the sustainability and all, you know that maybe there is a lot of new ventures or different countries, even from Middle East like Bahrain and all. Recently I met one of a leading email cloud solution provider. He selected one of his geographical zone in Bahrain. So it was a really new things to me. I just asked him, your two other data centers you selected in Europe and US, it is very easy for you to manage because I'm a energy automation industry side as well. So I know that it is very easy to manage the data centers in such a geographical zone because of the weather and dust and all things. Even the normal air, they can, most of the year, they can, equip or handle their data centers. I just asked him, why you prefer Bahrain? So he told me, recent days I visited Bahrain lots, and I can see that there is lots of initiatives introduced by the government or the legislative, authorities, like our Abu Dhabi Digital Authority recently built and Dubai Digital Authority. They have very good view and vision. He said Bahrain has a campaign going on called Cloud First. Okay, it's from a couple of years back. So there is a booming industry for the data centers. So that's why we prefer one of our area in Bahrain. Then I just inquire about this because this is a couple of things like Saudi Arabia. Recently they introduced $18 billion dollar projects only for the data centers or the cloud initiative. And like our UAE Vision 2021, see all the authorities, if you go to any Dubai municipality or anyone, we used to do that. You can see there is no any paperwork. They are not doing anything. If you have any application or any concern, they are just telling you to go back to your office, apply through the system. Everything digitalized. So this has happened. The cloud migration, in my case, in our hotel, as I said, we put a lot of systems, now everything automated. People don't want to, interfere anything. This is never stop. And now we are talking about metaverse. The people need to feel our hotel rooms virtually through our website. The project is signed already. We are working with one Indian company to do that. So everything is there. Moreover that, I am telling very soon, again I am repeating, everyone should have their own data centers. So this is our vision. Sustainability, Dubai government is supporting too much. Now any 4-star, 5-star hotel, if you want to renew your trade license yearly, you have to comply 19 points of guidelines by Dubai Tourism Department. And every hotel, they are selecting a sustainability champion from the engineering department and IT department. This is a very interesting thing. All the BMS system, the building management, which is controlling the chillers, which is controlling their, the fans and the pressure systems, the VFDs, everything which is linked with our IT solutions now. So this is the beauty. The leaders of the country, they are very visionary, everything on place. I think we just need to put some initiative to equip or to get us in the part of a big journey. This is my point of view, actually.
Thank you.
Yes, I believe that the technology is going to continue supporting and advancing the healthcare and medical science in general, in particular in the area of the clinical trials, the medical researches, because we talked about the vaccines. How can you test your vaccine without really having to test it on human beings? You create an AI model. So you create it and then you test the vaccine and then see how the subjects within the model are going to be impacted. From where do you get those subjects? It's actually based on data, demographic data, and data that is available really everywhere, and thanks to the cloud computing. However, when it comes to the healthcare industry, the nature of the data is sensitive, because here we're talking not just about personal data, but health, so it's sensitive personal data. Now, given the political climate in the world, countries, they start to have restrictions that we don't want our personal data to leave the country, so you have to store it inside of the country. I do believe that one day, maybe not next year, not in the next couple of years, but one day we will reach the state of having democratization of data and of technology as well. I do believe that when we reach that, then we will be able to unleash the full potential of the cloud. And we're going to do amazing things. We don't even know as of now what we're going to do, but we will do them.
Thank you very much. I think we are the last thing stopping people from going to lunch, so we're going to let you go. Last question. Yeah, quick one.
Today morning, I just met Mr. Edward, actually. So he's just talking about the same subject, how we can privatize our data. As she mentioned about recently I read some, medical journals or reports and saying that some global leaders, the country leaders, they are even not allowed to go, I'm sorry to say, their human waste to public. Some people are there to collect and protecting their data even in that level. So my concern, people I'm sure still have, the top level managers still have some concern about when we are talking to put the data in the cloud. I'm sure. I'm not talking about the new G or the techie leaders. I'm talking about the management people who is controlling or even guiding us to in some way. In a country like Dubai or UAE, I can say, I don't think so. It's a big challenge to create our own data center. It's not a big challenge in my experience. Actually, why I'm saying that? As I said, recently I visited that Moro hub. The entire cooling system of the data center is supplying from 2.5 kilometers away from a greenhouse. When you go to Business Bay and downtown that area, you can see that the buildings or the hotels, which they are managing all their cooling systems or the chiller requirement through the district cooling systems. Nobody is keeping their chillers, big chillers, to provide the air condition to their rooms. Same like water, same like electricity. The chilled water is coming through the pipes to providing the AC system to the buildings. I'm sure that you are all aware about it. Recently we signed a contract with a company called Dabel. It's a German-based company. They automated our systems for all properties in UAE. I can say 35 to 40% of the energy consumption they reduced within 4 to 5 months. Only through the software automation. They didn't implement any hardware device or anything in the building. Just sensors and the software which is controlling, which is centralizing all the sensors. So by reading data from here and there, they did it. So in Dubai or in UAE especially, I'm preferring very soon, I dream that, maybe it's a dream, we will have our own data centers in all premises. So our concern about the security, the network, the infrastructure ability, everything can be achieved through this. This is a dream. I think it will happen very soon.
So just to add on, this can be like Dubai can have that luxury, I'm sure, but other part of the world don't have it. But I slightly say, of course, there are a lot of compliance in terms of certain data which you need to keep it. So it will always be a edge site which will be very, very local to hospital or hotel, and then you have a central cloud which will be doing all heavy lifting. So that's the model which we are seeing will be.
Yeah, agreed, Ian. Hybrid model is very popular. In the private cloud, you keep your private confidential data, and the public is the transactional stuff.
The use cases which I talked about, you really need something closer. So you need that edge site closer.
For performance.
Yes,
Latency. Control.
Automation and monitoring. This is the main thing. Everywhere automation is good.
Thank you very much, everyone.